Hello and welcome to a very, very special episode of TUTV. Now, we used to do every semester a special live stream of extra length, but now of course we've gone live for every show for the last few weeks. So now instead of it being special because it's a live stream, it's special just because it's long.
Absolutely.
Right, Anderson?
Yeah, doesn't make it any less of a event, any less of a live stream though. We've got a lot of great stuff packed into it.
Yeah.
Looking forward.
We've got stuff like tier list of our best packages this semester. He's got a very special music minute. We've got, what else do we have, Anderson? You remember anything else?
Yeah, we got a few more tier lists. We've got a burger review.
We do have a burger review.
Absolutely great.
A pizza review as well.
Pizza review. But I think it's got, I'm really just excited to get on with it.
Yeah, me too. So with that, we're going to pitch it over to the desk so we can talk about news.
Yeah.
Howdy and welcome to the desk. I'm Bruce Bigler.
And I'm Luke Montemere. We're so excited to bring you the news on this final show.
Let's jump right into it.
On Saturday night, the annual White House Correspondents' Dinner was interrupted by gunfire believed to be intended for President Trump. The president was unharmed and one law enforcement officer was shot but is recovering. The suspect was apprehended at the scene and identified as 31-year-old Cole Allen, a school teacher from California. According to investigators, Allen took 2 trains across the country to infiltrate the event with a gun, getting past a security checkpoint. Allen first appeared in court yesterday, and his case will continue throughout the remainder of the year.
Tim Cook, CEO of Apple, is stepping down on September 1st of this year. Cook has been CEO since August of 2011, when Steve Jobs resigned due to health issues, dying only 2 months later. Cook will be replaced by John Turnus, the Senior Vice President of Hardware Engineering. This will not be the end of Cook's time at Apple, however. He will remain on and transition to the position of Executive Chairman of the Board of Directors. Cook oversaw a large chunk of Apple's history, including the launch of devices such as the Apple Watch and the AirPods. Under his tenure, the company nearly quadrupled its annual revenue from $108 billion to $416 billion from fiscal years 2011 to 2025.
Last week, Tulsa's LPC became the home for a variety of educational speeches. For more, TUTV's Angelica Ortiz takes us inside TEDx Tulsa.
On Wednesday, April 1st, TEDx Tulsa had their 2026 Unraveled event from 6 to 8:30 p.m. inside of the Lorton Performing Arts Center. These TED Talks were split into 2 acts, with an intermission in between and a taco truck for students and outside guests to recharge. Nominations were held earlier in the year from October 14th to October 31st. These TED Talks are designed to bring together a group of expert thinkers from across a wide range of fields to help share and spread new ideas.
We call them respectful, professional, resilient. Do you ever stop to ask why they need to be resilient in the first place? It's because they're trying to survive unaddressed harm. Different rules, different consequences for different people.
The eyes only see what your mind knows. But you have to take the time to train yourself to be a better observer, to see things, to ask questions, to be curious, to question yourself also so that you don't fall into the trap of the ego.
Have you ever Googled yourself and found something surprising or concerning or embarrassing? Imagine you Google your name and something pops up connected to extremism. Not because of something you've done or something you said or something you believe, but just because somebody somewhere got to it before you did. It was sort of like digital graffiti that I couldn't touch. Now, in the real world, in the physical world, if somebody paints something offensive on your fence or on your wall, you can tear it down, you can clean it up, you can paint over it. But in the digital world, sometimes it just sits there.
You know, Jay-Z, he once told this story about Kobe Bryant, and in short, he said, everyone wants the championships, everyone wants the rings, but nobody talks about the decades of free throws. You don't emulate the end result, you emulate the repetitions. Probability, it doesn't shift because you want it to. It shifts because you increase the fundamentals. That's sustainability.
For TUTV, I am Angelica Ortiz.
Today, we have to say a bittersweet goodbye to two members of TUTV who will be graduating in just under a month and moving on to the real world. One of those students is TUTV's Roma Carter, who brings us her final package, completing a project she's wanted to do for years.
But I have at least 5 presidents that I can't.
Fire, we out.
Hey guys, it's Roma Carter, and for my last package for TUTV, I'm going to be going around downtown Tulsa and stapling pictures to telephone poles. So let's go. For some context, I've been wanting to staple random pictures to telephone poles since I was in diapers, but it wasn't until this year when reading Jürgen Habermas and Howard Becker about how public space itself is a tool for social representation. In my eyes, engagement is what community public spaces should be for. Cue the montage.
It's earthing. Low-key, we could do 2. Let's do that one. I don't think you should put this clip in. I think you should.
At this point, you might be thinking, what's the goal of this whole project? Well, to me, it's to spread art and invigorate thought. However one may interpret these printed pictures isn't what I'm concerned with. I know it is temporary. Some officer or enraged individual or high schooler who needs a lock-in poster for their wall will take it down and its life in downtown Tulsa will die. But it was seen. It is the sheer fact that it was once viewed and interpreted by the public. With that, it leaves a light behind with it. If you've been in the studio within the past 2 months, you may have noticed some art on the walls. This has been a joint effort between the art department and TUTV to foster a collaborative environment between the arts and media here at TU. Professor Jason Ratfordy is the lead professor working on this initiative.
Hey everybody, my name is Professor Jason Rapperty. I teach painting and drawing classes here at the University of Tulsa, and we're so excited to unveil this collaborative art wall at TUTV. Our art students put together a collaborative piece, and we're going to keep this going as a rotating art wall here at TUTV. So look for more of these pop-up art projects on campus, and enjoy it if you're coming by the studio.
As much as I love this project, I'm remiss to say I thought about it a bit too late in my collegiate career, but this is where you can help. As Professor Ratfordy noted, this is an ongoing, rotating art wall, meaning that as long as art students are willing to donate pieces to the studio, we can continue this collaboration and creative endeavor from the Kendall College of Arts and Sciences across disciplines. If you are interested in being a point of contact to help facilitate the Student Art Initiative, please, and I mean this with every fiber in my body, reach out to me or Professor Ratfordy. It is not difficult, and the benefit of supporting student art across the board is tremendous. TUTV is a creative organization. It's about time the walls emulate that vision. On that note, for TUTV, I'm Roma Carter, signing off.
Tonight, TUTV is joined by one of the student artists who contributed to the work now displayed in our studio. Up next, Roma Carter brings us the exclusive interview.
Thanks, Luke. And for our first senior interview of the night, we have RJ Walker, an art student here at TU. RJ, welcome.
Nice to meet you.
Well, can you tell me a little bit about where you're from and what led you to TU?
For sure. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. I came to TU actually under like a double major of art and math. That's kind of why I wanted to come here, because I felt like this was a great school to do like many things. And eventually I dropped the math major and went for my like full Bachelor of Fine Arts, and so I'm graduating this fall.
That's awesome. And so what has led you to pursue art as a major? And
I think like whenever like even from like middle school, I always like sketched in the margins of my papers, and I always attributed that to like my like fondness for art. And so like just turning that into more of like a practice, especially these past like couple of years, has been really like eye-opening, and I can't wait to like go out into like the art world after I graduate.
Absolutely. Could you mention some of your favorite projects you've worked on here at TU, or even
Sure, yeah. Like a couple, must have been like a couple years back, there was this mural class that Jason actually did that we painted a mural for domestic violence intervention services in Hillcrest Hospital, the children's ward, and we painted like an under the sea sort of mural. So like it was like this kind of like cheery, happy, there's like little mermaids and whatnot, and yeah, like a bunch of like maybe 12 or so students kind of collaborated on that, and that was awesome.
Wow, and that was just offered through classes that Jason...
Yeah. It was Jason working with like the hospital, and we got to take part of that.
That's amazing. Is it rewarding knowing that it's benefiting like a greater purpose for you?
It's one of like the most rewarding things I think I've ever done.
I love that. Speaking of rewarding, you contributed to a piece that we have now in the studio. So can you tell us a little bit about that project and like how that came to be?
Sure, yeah. So this project first started with a painter named Maggie, who is a wonderful person. Right now she's in Chicago, but kind of for like the winter around then she comes down and takes part of these classes, and she did like this whole like abstract underpainting that you can kind of see in it with like these like stretched canvases on the like these raw canvases. It's kind of awesome. And then what Jason did and kind of asked the class was to like with these paint markers like scribble basically and doodle all over it. And so that's what I did. I did some scribbles and whatnot on top of that.
Amazing. Lastly, last question. What are your next steps after you graduate from TU?
Well, actually, I plan on staying in Tulsa. Right now, I have this internship at Scraps, which is a public art and design company, which is actually doing some cool stuff in Kendall Whittier right now. If you want to go on their Instagram, Scraps Instagram, there's currently something you can fill out, and that will determine what our next art project is going to be.
Beautiful. Public art for the public.
Yeah.
Well,
awesome.
Thank you, RJ. This has been the first segment of Senior Interview. Thank you.
Thanks, Roma. This Thursday, April 30th, will be the last day for students to declare a class as pass, fail, or withdraw from a class this semester. However, students must consult with their academic advisor for approval. This upcoming Monday, May 4th, will be the last day of classes, after which we will have 2 reading days on May 5th and May 6th. In celebration, SAB will hold a late-night breakfast on Monday from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. in the Student Union. This breakfast will be Star Wars themed for May the 4th. However, all dining locations in the Student Union will be closing early at 7 p.m. to accommodate the event. Student Success will be organizing a finals prep workshop the same evening from 5 to 6 p.m. in the tutoring room. Snacks will be provided.
It's almost surreal to be at the end of this semester, winding down. I am a big fan of late night breakfast. I feel like it's a big culmination of everything that we've worked for, and just kind of one final event before we move into finals. So I'm looking forward to that. Star Wars theme's gonna be great. I hear that they're decorating it like the cantina, and that they're gonna have blue milk, I've been promised. So everybody look forward to that. But coming up, we have more campus news and, of course, our weekly weather forecast.
But first, TUTV members bring us their review of local burger establishments.
So here we are, we just pulled up to Brownies, got the sign right there. This place has been around for a while, heard great things about it, so let's see if they live up to their reputation. So before we got our food, I have my chocolate malt right here, let's give it a try. Really getting those good hints of chocolate in there. Good, very thick, very rich. I would give this a solid 7 out of 10.
Alright, this is the first bite reaction to my Brownies chili burger. Looks good, it was fairly cheap, so here we go. It's a good burger, it's fantastic even. I'm gonna go for a second bite, that's how good it is. It's a solid 8.3 out of 10 chili burger right there.
All right, here we go. First bite impression. No chili on mine. I'm just the regular double old fashioned. Let's see. That's definitely a solid burger. Patties are pretty thin. This one has pickles, onions, and cheese and mustard on it. I would definitely say I give that a solid 7. It's fairly good all around, very well rounded. I would say nothing special, but doesn't have to be. It's just a solid burger.
Okay, first bite reaction. Also just the plain double old fashioned with cheese. We've got some grilled onion and some pickles. We watched them warm up before they put on, so I'm pretty excited for this. Yeah, I mean, it's got everything you want from a burger. Good texture on the meat. I think a little more cheese would help it out. It's just one slice for a double here. So I think if they did 2 slices of cheese, the ratio would be a little bit better there. But I'm gonna put this a solid, I think I'm gonna say an 8 out of 10. You know, it's better than your average fast food burger, but I think I've had better here and there.
So we finished our meal. We had some onion rings and some fries as well. Those were both really good. I would say the fries need a touch of salt added to them.
Absolutely. I think they need just a little bit of salt to push them into that elite category. I like the way they were fried though.
Me too. And they had more than enough onion rings. Those
Absolutely.
were really good.
The onion rings were really good. You know, the root beer, I think it's better in the restaurant. I've had it once before in like the frosted glass. That was really good. And the styrofoam with the ice, it was a little subpar. It was a little lacking. But overall, this has been very good. What would you give it overall, like an 8 out of 10?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's very solid. You know, if I'm having a burger craving, this is definitely somewhere I would consider going. It's fairly cheap. And everything, portions are great.
Yeah.
Everything overall, just good experience.
Absolutely.
Hi, and welcome back to your TUTV weather. Today's going to be coming to a close with some of those scattered storms continuing into the evening hours. Tulsa is still under a severe thunderstorm watch until 6 o'clock this evening, with a 30% chance of those storms continuing before midnight tonight. Tomorrow morning, we'll see clear skies returning to the area with slightly lower temperatures that are going to stick around until this weekend. Thursday, we'll see much of the same with mostly sunny skies and temps in the upper 60s. Thursday night will see a 20% chance of showers, and that's something that will continue through the day into Friday. Clear skies on Saturday with highs around 70 degrees, rising to around 80 by Sunday. Finals week will be starting off with sunny skies and high temps in the low 80s. With that, I'm Carter Reed, and this is your TUTV weather.
Well, gee, don't I know about that darn rain? I got literally soaked earlier today walking on campus. Have you had any trouble with the weather recently?
Oh yeah, absolutely. As soon as I left for the gym, just absolute torrential downpour.
It's genuinely been awful on campus.
Terrible time.
Well, enough of that. Welcome back to your TUTV here back at the desk. I'm Zach Edwards.
And I'm Reese Wood. So let's jump right into this week's campus news. While our campus may be rather small, there's a surprising amount of places you likely haven't seen before. TUTV's Oksana Miller brings us inside one of these forgotten locations, Fisher South.
You may have noticed the flower bed in the center.
Pretty neat stuff. Fisher South is a building on the main campus. It's across the street from Mayo Village and next to Pat Case Dining Center. Decently spacious, but apparently this is for one person, if the name tags are to be believed. Here we have Charlie's former dorm. Hi, Charlie. This building was initially opened to students in 1984 alongside Fisher West, known as Twin Hall, until 2009. Fisher South was intended as a freshman and sophomore dormitory with community areas on each floor to allow students to meet and interact with one another. According to one source, when the COVID-19 pandemic hit in March of 2020, the building was shut down, and Fisher South wasn't reopened afterwards due to a low occupancy, a lack of an elevator, and therefore a lack of accessibility, and a new policy forcing all sophomores to move to the apartments. However, another source indicates that while Fisher Hall might have been closed for the pandemic, it also was temporarily reopened for the following semester. These past few years, the building has been used as an office space, but as of recent, furniture has been getting removed from the building, indicating the potential of renovations being done. There's been a gradual effort to get everyone's stuff out as everyone's been moving out of the building. I was actually here a few days ago, and there was a lot more stuff in here. So, yeah, it's in the process of being abandoned. Some furniture is being moved out and relocated to other buildings. However, there have also been rumors of the building being demolished instead due to concerns of black mold inside. There have not been any official statements from the university, though, causing the subject to remain purely speculatory. For TUTV, I'm Oksana Miller.
We had a little bit of technical difficulties right before that last package. Our apologies from TUTV here in the studio. Let's get you right back into your news. You may have noticed the flower bed in the center of Dietler Commons surprisingly empty recently. Each year, the flowers in the raised garden are removed in preparation for the homecoming bonfire, which is built where the flowers usually rest. However, this year, the flowers were not replaced, leaving a sad pile of dirt and mulch in the center of one of the most beautiful locations on campus. Luckily, the university has finally acted and the flowers have returned to the DC, a slang term certain professors have been trying to make catch on for years. While the return of the flowers is exciting, it begs the question of why a university waited so long to replant this year.
On April 24th, the Center for Global Engagement held an international coffee chat that explored the culture, history, and architecture of Uzbekistan. This event lasted from 3 to 5 p.m. at the Home Student Center and included free food, such as green tea, Uzbek almonds, hazelnuts, raisins, and halva. Freshman student Abdusaid Odilov led a presentation that discussed how Uzbekistan has adopted food and traits from the various Eurasian empires that have controlled the region. The afternoon concluded with a Q&A that expanded on several presentation topics, especially Uzbekistani involvement in the historic Silk Road trading route. This is not Abdusaid's first time featuring on TUTV, as he previously won the Karta Russian Poetry Contest back in March.
Last week, Leadership TU held their final seminar featuring a leadership group dedicated to communal learning. For more, TUTV's Andreas Lynch takes us to the event.
Last week, for the final Leadership TU meeting, members of ACTION, Allied Communities of Tulsa Inspiring Our Neighborhoods, sat down for a panel discussion on the group. This is a leadership group that attempts to redefine leadership as learning from each other. The panel emphasized people with compassion over certain issues get a group together to do something about those issues, which is the same way people on the panel joined the group, such as 2 panel members who work on immigration issues, who discussed their stories of working with immigrants to ensure their safety in the United States. If you have an issue you're compassionate about, do some research into action and see how you can get involved. For TUTV, I'm Andres Lynch.
As SGA is winding down its activities this semester, TUTV reporter Hendrik Dubois revisits and reminisces on the inaugural semester of his segment, SGA Weekly.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to SGA Weekly. I'm your host, Hendrik Dubois, for the final show of the semester. Over the past semester, I've enjoyed some special moments in SGA. However, a lot of these clips haven't always been particularly newsworthy. This show will be a compilation of some of my all-time favorite moments from the past semester. Enjoy.
Do you want to? You want to. I feel like you want to. There you go. Okay.
That's cute.
Front row.
Yeah, exactly.
And we have the RSVP on next slide. Yes.
This is really hard.
Here we go. You're taller, so you're sturdy boys on the side.
Okay, so,
That is. I feel stupid. Okay, guys, not many guys know, but today is Hendrik's birthday. Yeah!
how do you feel about the tornado warning?
What? Whoa! Whoa!
Hey guys, we're about to go into
to raid in
shelter. Hope that if a tornado happens, I guess
Guys,
we'll
at
all
least
be
if
with
we
our
die,
best
we'll die
friends,
together.
So it's okay.
We'll die as a Senate body.
These are my best friends, so.
Are you expecting some rain tonight?
I am expecting rain tonight. I am actually expecting rain inside.
How are you feeling about the tornado?
I'm feeling raining in the Canaan.
Okay, so I'm reading this book for Mosher's poli-sci class. It says, at the same time, Trump's years in office have been tempestuous. One might say stormy. This is in reference to Stormy Daniels, the porn star that slept with Donald Trump for the money that he paid her, and then he covered up with his fixer, Michael Cohen.
The Real Housewives, period. All the Real Housewives love them, and Secret Life of Mormon Wives. If you ever want to sit down and chat, I got you.
That was crazy.
That's all for now, folks. Tune in next year for the next SGA Weekly. For TUTV, I'm Hendrik Dubois.
You may have remembered last semester when we had our live stream at the end of the year, we brought you a TUTV's very own tier list with our tier list correspondent, Reese Wood. So today, once again, we are revisited with rankings.
Yep, and today I'm going to be ranking my top 5 Campo reports that I found online. So, starting off at number 5, back on March 3rd of 2026. These are all from this year, by the way. This report was for a fire alarm at the Lambda Chi Alpha fraternity. It says, University of Tulsa security officers were dispatched to the fraternity. Officers in the Tulsa Fire Department responded and found no sign of fire and determined the alarm was activated from the smoke of overcooked food. So, I guess lambdas are terrible cooks is what they're putting out online.
I've heard that on the down low, on the high key actually, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I think you're valid. Next up, at our number 4 spot, we have another fire alarm. This one was at Hardesty Hall on April 20th. University of Tulsa campus security officers were dispatched to Hardesty Hall for multiple fire alarm activations. So, you know, I'm not going to make any accusations as to why this might have been. All I'm saying is it's interesting that this happened repeatedly on April 20th. Correlation doesn't equal causation, but I think it's entirely plausible.
Fair enough.
At our number 3 spot, in a similar vein, another fire alarm, but this one came also with a drug offense referral. The University of Tulsa security officers were dispatched to the Sigma Nu fraternity house for a fire alarm. Officers arrived and found no sign of fire. Multiple university affiliates and their guests were gathered inside with a heavy amount of marijuana smoke. So I guess the people at Sig Nu were having a good time that day.
Yeah, sounds like it.
It sounds like a lot of fun. Hot box in the frat house. And at our number 2 spot, we have student misconduct, public intoxication. This was at 4:55 p.m. on November 16th. The University of Tulsa security officers were dispatched to the University Square West apartments on report of a university affiliate who was visibly intoxicated and had publicly urinated inside the doorway of an apartment. Just in broad daylight at 4:55 p.m. Now, again, I'm not going to it's really hard to say who could have possibly committed this crime. I'm not sure if there's any way to know. All I'm going to say is that whoever did it is probably incredibly handsome, if I had to guess. But we may never know who did this one. And finally, last but not least, we have hazing, possession of alcohol, CDS, weapons, and larceny at the Kappa Sigma fraternity on March 24th. University of Tulsa security were dispatched to the Kappa Sigma fraternity house to assist university officials with an investigation of a reported hazing and alcohol referral. During the investigation, officers confiscated alcohol, controlled drug substances, weapons, and property belonging to the university. Now, I don't know what this hazing thing is. I've never heard of this, but it sounds pretty bad.
Not at TU, no.
You know, Kappa Sigma, they got to stay in their house after this incident. I feel like them and Bucks kind of have this Doofenshmirtz and Perry the Platypus relationship, where, you know, Bucks is trying to take over the tri-frat area, but unfortunately, they lost this round. Maybe at some point in the future, good luck, Bucks. But that's all I've got for today. Those are my top 5.
It's a little alarming how many fire alarm Campo reports there were. I'm sorry.
That was fire,
I had
Zach.
to get that in there. I'm sorry.
That was fire.
Moving forward, go ahead.
Well, thank you guys. Now we're going to go back to our hosts.
Thanks a ton for that, Reese.
Yeah, thank you so much. So we've seen some very interesting content today already. We had that RJ interview. That was absolutely fantastic. You know, he talked about that art. If we can actually take a look at that.
Oh, yeah.
On the wall over there. Yes, so that's what he was talking about, where he contributed his scribbles. I really like this piece. It's new, you know, as of this week. It is absolutely gorgeous.
I'm a big fan of it. You know.
Hello, Andres. So we also had the burger review. Anderson, you were in that one.
Yeah, no, that was a lot of fun to film. You know, I like supporting local businesses, but Brownies is one that I've been to before. As I said, you got to go in, eat there for the full experience. You get root beer in a nice frosted mug. Really nothing like it. It's good.
Also, I'm incredibly excited to see the campus flowers are back on the DC, as Dr. Futch would call it in the philosophy department.
Him and him alone.
Now, I'm being told to wrap it up, so I guess I will.
I guess
Next up, we've got another tier list about packages. Then we're going to go to our wonderful Professor Q to talk about his Rate My Professor reviews, and then we'll move into an interview with our first TUTV senior. Take it away.
Hello everyone, and welcome to an interview with students Mitchell Kallman and Emma Bax. These are respective senior and junior who sub for the Tulsa Symphony Orchestra, and we're going to talk to them about their experiences. So first, Mitchell and Emma, just tell us a little bit about what you do here, what's your major, year, and how you got started playing your instrument.
Well, I'm a senior. I'm doing computer science, and I'm very excited to graduate very soon. But I have a minor in music, and I've been playing with the TU Symphony since freshman year. And I started playing the violin in 5th grade.
I'm a junior, double major in psychology and music, and I also work in a lab on campus here, and I've been playing the viola since 6th grade, which is when they told us to start the instruments.
The spring, my sophomore year, during one of our side-by-side rehearsals with the members of the Tulsa Symphony. I met my stand partner, who was Rana Marie, the personnel manager of the Tulsa Symphony, and it was just randomly at the end of the semester, I got an email forwarded from Rana to me, thanks to Professor Wagner. It was inviting me to play in one of their concerts. It was Harry Potter, I think the Sorcerer's Stone is what it was. So I actually this was the weekend right before Concerto Aria competition, and I thought I didn't need to do any more work that weekend, but I decided I can't pass that up. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't pass up an opportunity like that either. And Emma, how did you start?
Last summer, so after my sophomore year, I was teaching this summer school program with the second chair violist, Vesko Todorov, and he gave my information to Rana Marie because a violist had dropped and they needed someone for the Andrea Bocelli concert.
And you mentioned a little bit the Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone concert, and what other performances have you done, and what were some of your favorites?
Just recently, the TSO did the Firebird Suite, and what else was in that concert? I don't remember. There was something else in that concert, but the Firebird Suite was the main show there, and that was a lot of fun. In the past, I've also done the Tchaikovsky Serenade for Strings, and that is definitely one of my favorites. That one's surely up there. And yeah, we did Sorcerer's Stone, and the next year they did Chamber of Secrets, and then coming up pretty soon we're doing the Prisoner of Azkaban. And those are, there's a lot of trade-off with work and entertainment. It's fun to play, and it's also a lot of work, and I think those are probably my favorites. But
and it seems fun to be able to play movie soundtracks.
It definitely is, yes.
And how about you, Emma?
I've only also done the Planets concert in November, in which we also played Star Wars. And with the Planets concert, we did something similar where we had to play with a film of I think it was the planets. I couldn't even see it.
They mostly had
right.
planets on the screen, yeah.
I don't know, but it was really cool. I like doing that a lot. So.
Yeah, I was there for that concert, and it was awesome to watch. What are your practice routines and tips? As a violinist, I want to know.
Yeah, the best thing you can do is just be consistent. I don't know, maybe you've experienced this possibly. But if you practice every day for a week, and then you take one day and break, and the next day you took a break, you can feel it. And I know I've experienced that. But the best thing you can do is just keep playing.
Emma?
What's been really helpful for me when I'm in the practice room is taking things out of context and isolating parts of sections of music, either taking away like the rhythms or the bowings, and really isolating like either the left hand if I'm focusing on viola, or like the right hand, and that would be taking away the issues of like pitches and intonation, just working on individual parts.
So do you have any cool plans for Mitchell, for you after college, and Emma for your senior year?
Well, after I graduate, my plan is to go to Washington, D.C., and I'm going to do some computer science work, whatever that may be, with the Naval Research Lab. And I do plan to find orchestras in the area to play in, because I know I will miss that if I don't. And there's the National Symphony Orchestra, but they're definitely a bit beyond my level. But there's plenty of opportunities.
And Emma?
Next year, I have the fortunate opportunity of living in the Montreux retirement community as a music intern. They compensate me for room and board, and I will, with one other student, provide monthly concerts.
Oh, wow, that's wonderful. And any quick last advice that you want to give to anyone watching?
Play in tune. If you play in tune, people will think you sound good, and they'll hire you.
That is true. Emma?
Just go see live music whenever you can.
Yes.
No matter what it is, it's very helpful for your playing, whether it's choir and you play an instrument, or vice versa, or live pop music. It's just, all of it's helpful.
Awesome. Well, that is all the time we have. Thank you very much to Mitchell and Emma for coming to talk to us, and don't miss the Tulsa Symphony Orchestra's performance of Mahler 2 on May 2nd.
Well, hello, welcome back. I am, as previously mentioned, the TU Tier List Club President, as well as TUTV's Tier List Respondent. And I'm here with Aristotle Orsini, one of our hosts.
You've seen me.
Today we're going to be ranking some of our packages from this semester. So Aristotle gave me some packages to give my review on, and we're going to find a place to put them up here on the tier list. Now, I have my notes written on my phone. First up, we have movie review.
Movie review.
That was done by Carter and Michael, and it was about Project Hail Mary.
Yes.
I thought it was very good. It was very informative. Makes me want to see the movie. However, there was a distinct lack of B-roll or any kind of visuals other than just the two of them talking. And while I don't mind seeing their faces, of course, it got a little bit boring on the visual side. So
That's true.
I think that one is solidly a B tier. Very informative, but could definitely use a little bit more B-roll. Next up, we have Benton's Waymo package. This one, it was a great one. This is one of my favorites from the semester. Very well put together, all about the Waymo cars.
Featuring his grandparents.
Yes, featuring Benton's grandparents. Wonderful commentary from them.
And his brother.
They really helped me understand that the Waymo is going too fast for their liking. And so it was a great package, great footage, very informative.
I've got a guess.
Entertained all the way through. Definitely
S
an
tier.
S tier. Everything a package should be, ideally. Next up, we have Hendrick's SGA pilot package. His very first SGA recap package. This one was a very good start to this series. And I really like the idea of this series because not a lot of people know what's going on in SGA. Yeah. People don't want to go to the meetings. They're late at night. They're very long. They're quite often very boring. And so it's very nice to have just a weekly recap of what's going on in SGA. I love it. My only thing is with this first package, there was, again, kind of a distinct lack of B-roll, I would say. Really just Hendrick talking into the camera. And while I was informed, again, not very interesting on the visual side. So I decided I want to put that one in A tier. It's a very good start to the series, but definitely not as entertaining as it could be.
Now, a fun fact about the SGA report is I used to go to SGA meetings because I was like, well, if anything interesting happens, I can talk about it on TUTV. The problem, of course, being SGA meetings are unbearable to attend. So I got Hendrick to start doing it and convinced him it was a weekly beat.
Yep, and thank you, Hendrick, for your service in that regard. Next up, we have the food review from Andreas at Angie's. Unfortunately, I don't think we have a picture printed off for that one.
Bruce, can you come up here? You were in there. No, come on.
Yeah,
come on up.
Come on, Bruce.
Yeah, we'll place you on the board. Hello.
So Bruce was in this package. This was a very good package, great B-roll and a good review, and it definitely makes me want to try Angie's. I don't know if don't question it, just eat it is a good philosophy to live your life by. That one was a little bit questionable, but I definitely think this one is also deserving of a spot in A tier. A very good
Put your head over
review.
there.
We got Bruce right there in A tier. Next up, we have the President's Day Man on the Street package from Aristotle. Very fun Man on the Street. I was disappointed that there was no mention of my favorite president, William Henry Harrison. He's a very underrated one. He died 1 month into his term after getting too cold at his inaugural address because he spoke for too long and got sick.
And refused to wear a jacket.
Exactly. So let that be a cautionary tale to you all. I would definitely give this one a solid B tier, short and sweet.
Heard it, S tier, because I made that one.
And you see it right here. We have corrupt executives in TUTV. Next up, we have our Gathering Place package from Jess. This one, another very short and sweet one, but it was very informative, and the B-roll was fantastic. I did not get to go to this, but it looked like a super fun event. Definitely made me want to go. And I would say this is an S-tier package as well.
Another S-tier package.
Does everything it needs to do in a short amount of time. Great B-roll. Again, very ideal package. And last, but certainly least, we have our Mark Bruin interview from our good friend Andreas. My notes here say torturous. Probably was informative, but did not watch all the way through. Looks like a police interrogation. 12 minutes of Mark Bruin. Could not watch it. I'm sorry, Andreas. Nothing personal to you. But definitely deserving of the F tier spot. I don't recommend anyone watch that package. I'm kidding, of course.
It was incredibly long.
Yes. I'm sure it was informative, but again, did not watch the whole thing, so I did not get all of that information. But if you're interested in making packages like these next semester, you can take the Making TUTV class and learn practical skills in reporting and news writing. It is a media studies class that also counts for a Quad 1. Last fall, students from the inaugural Making TUTV class produced investigative journalism projects for their final exam. We've already explored the world of Tulsa art and the campus GroupMe scams. Up next, we take a look at Tulsa's local music scene.
Tulsa has a thriving local underground music scene with many venues across the city. Part of that scene are bands consisting of individuals with many different backgrounds.
So I like to think it makes sense to people if I kind of describe it as instrumental music first. And it's kind of like progressive jazz, maybe funk, soul. And you know, even though it's an instrumental band, we'll have vocalists sit in with us sometimes, and we'll do their tunes or we'll do other tunes. But you know, we kind of specialize in funk and soul and R&B and pop jazz and soul jazz. We literally started with like 4 of us in the band, and you know, organ, guitar, bass, drums, and then not long after that, we started having other people sit in, like other guitar players, and then you know, another keyboardist who played trumpet. Next thing I know, you know, we're regularly playing as like a 5 or 6 piece, you know, which is like 2 guitars, two keys, trumpet, bass, drums, which is a big sound. And I was thinking about this in the last 2 years. We've had a lot of different people sit in with us, you know, and that means we played their music, their originals. We've played other pop songs and tunes and covers. They've played with us on our tunes. So it's been really amazing to see the collaboration that's happened with the band already just in 2 years. Tulsa has a great, right now, I would say the Tulsa music scene is dominated by singer-songwriters still. And like, there's a big like movement of like, I call it like millennial hipster country. And that's kind of like what's going on with the live music scene. You know, you've also got like post rock and punk and indie stuff, you know, like the other night at Noisetown, you know, Organ Breath was playing alongside 3 other bands, and 2 of the other bands, all of the ages in the bands were early 20s probably, or younger. And, you know, I'm thinking this is amazing. This is exactly what I want. This is one of the things I want Organ Breath to do, which is to grow the community of music around me, to connect the dots with other people, especially to bridge, you know, the generational gaps between me, like my Gen X, my generation, Generation X, the millennials, the Gen Z, whatever, you know, but basically like this idea that like older people, middle-aged people, young people, there's music that we all probably like, you know, that we could all agree on that we like. And so that was another thing that I wanted Organ Breath to be able to do in the beginning, was to be able to check those boxes.
Venues around all of Tulsa have been integral to furthering the life of the underground music scene and the bands that inhabit it.
Well, we originally started wanting to open rehearsal spaces for musicians because there's so much good music in Tulsa. And for some reason, the city didn't have a place that you could show up and there would be equipment there ready for you and you could plug in and rehearse for an hourly rate. So that's how we started. And my business partner also has a history of private instruction with guitar and bass and drums and things like that. So we added that to the menu. And then I'm a recording engineer, so we offer recording services. And then once we got up and established, some young bands saw our space and they started asking us about performing here, which we hadn't really thought about because it's not a huge space and it's full of equipment. But we said yes to a couple of bands, and then it just snowballed from there, and more people started asking. And we host probably between 4 and 8 live music events a month, depending on what part of the year it is. and it keeps us really busy. So it's great. It's fun. One of our early philosophies was to provide a space that we wish had existed when we were, in high school, in terms of, like I said, I keep using the word resources, but just resources for kids, whether that's a guitar lesson or, making their first recording or playing their first show. It was really important to Dustin and I that we offer something that was unique and that we would have killed for when we were 15 or 16 years old. And so it's cool to have that space and to, and to be able to attract all these people to it and use it for so many different reasons. Pretty much every day we're doing something different in this space. So it's challenging, but it's really fun. It doesn't get monotonous. It's not the same thing over and over again. Every week is different. Every day is different. So that's pretty cool. I think probably the coolest thing about this space is that we can follow along on your entire music journey, where you can get an instrument and you can learn to play it here. You can play your first show here and you can make your first record here. And we're here for all of it. We're happy to provide, but to be able to tap into the beginning of a musician's, artistic trajectory, and to be able to just, well, do you need this? Do you need this? What about this? And just to have all of those cards, in our hand and be able to help whomever, at whatever part of their journey. I think that's really cool. And there's not a space like that in Tulsa besides us, as far as I know. So I think that's really, really neat that we can help out at any part of your career, and we can push you along. And one of the things that we talk about also is we're trying to shave off, years of your career where you might spend 2 years learning to record, on your laptop. You can come here and take lessons for 6 months, and then you can make your record. So we're trying to speed up the artistic development in Tulsa, and we're actually able to see, because most of our visitors are, out of high school and in college. We have a lot of TCC students that come through here. We're seeing the next generation of what the musicians that are going to be playing, at the Whittier and the Colony and Mercury Lounge and the Shrine. Like, we're seeing those kids right now, and it's cool to see what they're interested in and how they're developing, and then who they're going to be in 2 or 4 or 6 years when they're playing around town. So it's like we get a preview, like a sneak peek of what's going to happen in the next couple of years.
A small local business called Sunset Records has been trying to help local bands get their footing in the scene by holding shows for bands and actually recording and physically producing their music.
First and foremost, Sunset Club Records is a record label and completely focused on regional music that's being released, mostly in Tulsa, but we do, work with some other bands here in Oklahoma, and every once in a while somebody outside of Oklahoma, but very rarely. We try to keep it very regional and local centric. So we put out cassettes and vinyl by a lot of the local bands here. And that is our main focus, is to help these musicians find a way to actually get their stuff out there in a way that's not gonna just destroy them financially. So we try to work with them the best we can, figure out arrangements that, we can make something happen without anybody really getting hurt. And so far, the community is great here in Oklahoma, and especially in Tulsa, and everybody's really easy to work with for the most part. We also have an art gallery here at Sunset Club Records. We're in conjunction with Just Arts, which is a local Tulsa nonprofit that works only with incarcerated artists across the country, showcases their work, provides opportunities for them to sell their work, really showcase that, and actually get paid for what they're doing and not be taken advantage of. And we make sure anything that's sold or raised for any of their art, 100% of that goes right back to them. So that's another aspect that's very near and dear to us here at Sunset.
Local venues and their owners have to deal with the potential of possibly shutting down for various reasons, leaving many bands without ways of furthering their region audience and Tulsa's music scene without a vital piece of its life.
Here in Tulsa, we have a good handful of venues that really heavily focus on our local music scene, and they do an amazing job at it. And I want to call them out, but you got places like Thelma's Peach, you got places like Mercury Lounge and the Sound Pony and the Colony, and there's a lot of other ones. There's even venues that I find out about that unfortunately still haven't even been to yet. I've heard about Mass Movement doing a lot of cool things, and Noise Town does a lot of amazing stuff over on the west side. So these venues are absolutely invested in this, and they are basically the springboards for these bands even getting, any traction under them to even feel that desire to push themselves further. So just those venues giving them a place to play, a place to hone their craft, to try out stuff. I mean, that goes a long way for folks, and not having that avenue can be very discouraging and can kind of just leave you there not knowing what to do with your art. So I love those venues. They're amazing venues. They treat the bands here really well. And I hope that none of those in particular that I just mentioned are falling on those types of hard times either, because if so, I would definitely want us to be involved in how to help that situation for them.
For TUTV, I'm Riley Wilson with Brooklyn Wagenblatt, Mace Ramirez, Reese Wood, and Zach Edwards.
Well, in tonight's show, you've already heard us discuss our taking an Intro to TUTV class next semester in the fall, and our professor that teaches that class is our very own Professor Q. So tonight we have him here to do a segment talking about his professor reviews from back when he taught in Chicago. Take it away.
I don't know what these young people have set me up for, but I'm very proud of these TUTV students in this semester, and it's been a great year. So here's number one. Very easy. I highly recommend taking him if you have a difficult workload and you need an easy class to balance the load. He is very passionate about the subject matter, but does not translate into difficult classes or that you will learn much. Wow. That was kind. Number two, select another teacher for this class. Beautiful. Number three, no comments. Number four, he has no business teaching this class. He has no clue on how to teach a literature criticism course. He has an attitude problem and he didn't teach anything. As always, the students present while he sits back and relaxes. He has to go. That's lovely. Okay, am I missing one? And there's one on the floor. Maybe it should have stayed on the floor. Number five. Dr. Q's class is one of the most interesting I've taken. I did not enjoy it, but it was interesting. So I don't know which one to guess is not the real one. So I'm just going to say they're all forgeries. So they're all fakes. I don't believe any of them. Take my classes, learn lots of things. All right, back to Zach.
Well, continuing our interviews tonight, our senior interviews for TUTV, we're coming back. I'm Zach Edwards, and this is Betty Lamb. So thank you for joining us tonight, Betty. It's really good to have you here in the studio. Tell me a little bit about yourself and what your role has been in TUTV throughout college.
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much for having me today. It's so fun to be back at TUTV for a while. So I'm a senior. I study media study and film study here at TU, and I joined TUTV in my freshman year, and I found out about TUTV at the activities fair, and I just thinking like I joined to gain some practical skills for my class, but it ended up to be a very fun experience. I think I first joined as a video editor, and then I got promoted into a technical director, like doing more in the studio, like live tech and stuff. But yeah, it was pretty fun.
Awesome, I love to hear. Well, moving forward, what is your plans to use your skills moving forward past TUTV to carry you into your future career? Where are you going?
So I would love to use more of my skill into video editing instead of broadcasting. But so far I feel like learning from TUTV, I learned more technical terms. So I think it's helped a lot. Even though in the future career, when I have to do some video production or live tape, I'm gonna know all the terms or what the process looks like. So I think it's gonna help me well with the future career. But for right now, I would say it's more in the marketing side or commercial video side.
Totally.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, there's other things you do on campus, obviously. Tell me a little bit about Studio 151.
Yes, so I feel like I'm more involved in Studio 151. It's a podcasting studio, and I joined it when I worked more with Caspian and Ryan. Then I joined the club. I lead the club with my best friend Avery. So we start with making very casual podcasts, talking about what we like, Studio Ghibli podcasts.
Yeah.
And then we just develop it more. We grow more. We got more members, and everybody really supportive and dedicated about what they do. So we would love to get more podcasts out, and also our podcast become our memory here at TU, and it's a fun time.
Dude, so inspirational. I love that so much. Well, last question. What is your biggest takeaway, just in terms of your experience with TUTV, but also Studio 151 and all the things that you've done on campus that you're going to take forward with you in life?
That's a tough question, though. You gave me it in advance, but I'm still thinking about that. I feel like I make a lot of friends here, so it's going to be a fun memories. Of course. Other than that, I feel like I'm gonna use all of the skill that I learned here, and somehow it's gonna fund me in the future, help me grow even better, and just gonna help me in many ways. I would
Awesome.
say.
Yeah, totally. Well, thank you for joining us tonight, Betty. This has been an amazing interview, and we've got an amazing show coming right back with you.
Hello and welcome to Movie Night. I'm Riley, and for our very first episode, we're going to be taking a look at Lee Cronin's The Mummy, released on April 17th. This movie adds to the legacy of films within the Mummy franchise, starting with 1932's The Mummy, continuing with 1999's The Mummy, and of course, 2017's The Mummy. This movie is a new reimagining of the story, following a family bringing home their missing daughter of 8 years, who was found mummified in a sarcophagus. However, upon bringing her home, it is apparent something is wrong with their daughter, as more oddities begin to appear around the family. This movie is overall pretty good. The effects and makeup are stellar. The movie is great at making you disgusted at what can break the human body. In fact, the movie's gore was so good, it made me audibly say, "Oh God," in the theater. The acting is incredible. The actors perfectly capture the terror within the movie. However, I do wish that the mummy was the main villain instead of Scary Kid number 1000. I left this movie feeling misled. I came in thinking I was going to see a shambling corpse kill people instead of a mummy kid who jumps on and claws at people. Also, the characters were kind of confusing and frustrated me. When the main couple brings home a kid that is clearly possessed by something, the father suggests getting her help and moving her somewhere more secure where she wouldn't be able to harm anyone. The mother then sees this as a personal attack and refuses despite the fact that there is clearly something wrong with their daughter. Then the father actually makes it a personal attack and becomes a complete jerk for 5 seconds before becoming a loving husband again. However, I can excuse this as characters making bad choices within the narrative, but then half a movie later, the two switch mindsets out of nowhere, and now the mother wants her to get rid of her, and the father wants her to stay. Even despite how good the actors portray these characters, it does not make these inconsistencies any better. On a better note, the movie's scares were great, although I do feel as the movie goes on, they progressively become more and more lamer. This is especially apparent within the final act. Sorry, but teenagers and an old lady aren't that scary, no matter how much scary makeup is on them. Although I did think it was really funny how the youngest kid is just left out of the final battle by being locked in her room. Even with the lamer scares at the end, the beginning and especially the middle had some great scares, disregarding the few jump scares they used. However, one negative about these scares is that they really didn't feel like the kind of scary sequences that you would see in a movie about the mummy. This then brings up a further criticism. The movie doesn't feel like a mummy movie.
The director of the film, Lee Cronin, previously directed 2023's Evil Dead Rise, and it's very apparent in this movie. The Mummy felt less like it was trying to be a mummy movie and more like an Evil Dead movie, but replacing Deadites with mummies. The way that the possessed characters act is extremely similar to how characters who are possessed in the Evil Dead series act. However, the scariest part of the experience is what happened after the movie. After the movie ended, I went to go to the restroom. However, when I went down the hall, I couldn't find the men's room, just the women's. So I went further until I reached the end of the hall and I couldn't find it. So I went back and saw the sign for the men's room. I went towards the sign, but when I got to a door, I found it was just another theater. I looked back at the sign to see that I should have been right next to the men's room. So I looked beside me, and all I could see was a large cardboard poster of the movie I Swear, the movie about the British guy with Tourette's. I looked to the side of the poster, and I could then see the entrance to the restroom. And in front of the poster was a garbage can. Someone blocked off the entrance to the restroom and didn't want anyone going in there. I don't think it was for cleaning, because then they would have just put tape in front of the entrance to tell people that they were cleaning. No, someone went to all the effort to hide the bathroom and make it so that people wouldn't go back there. Why would they do that? What was the motivation? Was it an employee or a customer? Why did that specific bathroom need to be blocked off in such a strange way? What was going on in there? Even after I left the building, I was still asking questions about the bathroom. The uncertainty of it left me with a fear of the unknown. That restroom was scarier than the actual movie I watched. The movie is pretty decent. It works better as a horror movie titled The Mummy than it does as an actual mummy movie. The scares, effects, and acting are great, while the characters and implementation of The Mummy are less so. But in conclusion, I give the movie a 7 out of 10. That's all for this week's movie night. Tune in next year for more reviews from me. I'm Riley from TUTV. Back to the desk.
Wow, so that sounds like a really good movie. Do you have anything in mind that you want to watch?
Yeah, ever since Carter Reed and Michael Cyril's review of Project Hail Mary, I've wanted to watch that. So I'm thinking, first thing over the summer, I got to check that out.
That sounds like a great idea. Well, welcome back to TUTV. I'm Angelica Ortiz.
And I'm Andres Lynch. We have some more exciting news for you.
Plus our weekly music minute. Let's jump right in.
Several episodes ago, we discussed a suit that Nintendo won against the U.S. government to earn money lost on revenue from the Trump administration's tariffs, specifically for Nintendo Switch 2 accessories. Players are now suing Nintendo for their money back as well. U.S. residents Gregory Hofford and Prashant Sharan argue that any tariff refund money should go to players. Otherwise, claim the plaintiffs, Nintendo will have collected the lost tariff revenue twice, when it should be paying customers their cut. The lawsuit is ongoing, and its outcome will be determined in the coming months.
On April 22nd, an organization's tabling event, the student union drew controversy among some students. Representatives for Stand With Us said they offered a different perspective than that of other student organizations, such as Students for Justice in Palestine and TU's Young Democratic Socialists of America. Maury Kurland, one of the students' representatives, expressed pro-Israel and pro-Zionist viewpoints, including wearing a shirt saying, "This is what a Zionist looks like." The table garnered discomfort from students critical of Israel and Zionism due to the ongoing conflict in Gaza.
Last November, several departments in the Oxley College of Health and Natural Sciences vacated their building downtown at Boulder Street and returned to the main TU campus. TUTV previously covered these developments and their impact on the English faculty in Chapman Hall. Now, reporter Michael Cyrils follows up with Oxley College faculty about their first semester back home.
Last fall through even this spring semester, students and faculty from several health and natural sciences programs have been slowly adapting to their new classrooms, buildings, and facilities. The School of Nursing built a new skills and simulation lab on the third floor of Chapman Hall, with other exercise and sports science labs being moved to Oliphant Hall and Zink Hall. It was a late decision to vacate the Boulder building, leaving staff scrambling the week before Thanksgiving break last year.
It's challenging and actually rare that a School of Nursing would move across a campus, maybe to a new building, but we are moving across town. This is very, very high expenditure equipment. It's a delicate move.
You know, as the deadline was fast approaching, there was a bit more of a rush to get things moved. Really, we finished the semester, kind of everything had made it here, but was pretty disorganized.
Almost 6 months later, the athletic training program is still adapting to the new space, with more changes on the horizon.
You can tell we've still got some paint that's in process. We're gonna have a couple blue walls in here. We've got some new flooring coming in, as hopefully by start of the summer it's gonna be looking like a new spot.
Despite the challenges from moving, Dr. Wasson has already seen incredibly positive results this semester.
It's awesome to be able to, see students walking by the window, they'll wave at you, they'll come in at office hours, they're more likely to come in and ask questions. I mean, the facilities at the Boulder building were fantastic. It was a really nice place, but it felt a little bit disconnected for sure from campus.
Now, all of the Oxley College departments are centralized in one location to foster greater collaboration between different programs.
Across the way at Mary Kay Chapman, we can easily get over there.
Plus, more hands-on learning opportunities for students across different classes.
We teach primarily our Master of Athletic Training classes in this lab, but we also can bring our undergrad students in.
For TUTV, I'm Michael Searles.
The Oxley College of Health and Natural Sciences will also be hosting their annual Faculty, Student, and Staff Awards ceremony from 5:30 to 7 p.m. tomorrow. This will take place in the Allen Chapman Student Union's Great Hall. While the event is free, an RSVP is required to attend. Also, tomorrow, our first-generation graduate community will be celebrating with a cord ceremony in the Mayo Clubhouse from 5 to 6:30 p.m. Congratulations, seniors.
The Student Government Association put on one of their final events of the year last week, TU Thrift. For more, we go to TUTV's Angelica Ortiz.
TU Thrift was an event hosted by the Student Government Association, or SGA for short, where students were able to donate previously loved clothes by dropping them off at resident hall drop boxes or in the SGA office from April 1st to April 23rd. The clothes were sorted into separate categories such as business attire, athleisure, dresses, and more by volunteers and SGA members. Students were invited to shop for one free bag of clothes and enjoy dirty soda, coffee, or other snacks provided at the snack bar. The event was hosted in the Great Hall of the Allen Chapman Student Union from 7 to 9 p.m. on April 23rd. All unclaimed clothes were donated to Family and Children's Services, who's one of SGA's campus partners.
Yes, awesome. The exclusive TUTV song. And then the necklace.
For my ops, don't cross me.
So sad.
Tier list flow. Get hyped. We're gonna be tier listing outfits. So basically, if you want to submit your outfit, go to Noah.
Let's go ahead and put it at B tier. Let's go ahead and put it at B tier. Does the crowd feel like up or low? Higher or low? Okay, what about A tier? TU Tube Talk. Let's go ahead and put it in C tier for now. Are we thinking down? Are we thinking D tier? B tier. Let's put it in B tier, y'all.
For TUTV, I am Angelica Ortiz.
So I'm actually a first-generation student. Are you?
I am.
Yeah,
as well.
Really. So I think it's really exciting to see these seniors graduating. I think hopefully we will follow in their footsteps. I think that'll be really fun.
It is, yes, it's really exciting.
For sure.
And we also have Maddie Blassett here to discuss some of our favorite orchestra pieces from the TU Symphony Orchestra. So Maddie, what was your favorite piece?
My favorite piece was the Gounod aria, which we were actually working on right now. We worked with a musician, a singer, and it was really interesting. It's fun to play.
And my favorite piece was at the beginning of the year, the Capriccio Espagnol. It was awesome playing a full piece with multiple parts and having all those soloists. And also make sure to check out the final orchestra concert on May 6th.
Hello, and welcome back to this week's Music Minute. I'm Anderson Bell, and I'm joined by Reese Wood. Today we're going to be discussing the monster of an album that is Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon, released in 1973. So I think, honestly, we can just go track by track and kind of talk about our thoughts on it. Reese, anything you want to say to open this up?
Yeah, this was really how Pink Floyd took off. I've been given a lot of opinions on a lot of different stuff today, and this is one of my favorite albums ever, so I'm really excited for this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's one of the few albums that I would consider to be almost perfect. Starting off, you've got the Speak to Me and then Breathe. It's a nice way to open up the album. You know, you've got the more experimental, like sound effects, whatnot, in Speak to Me, and then it goes into the nice, very calm, very mellow, kind of driven by that one guitar riff. Great song. I think it's one of the best ways to open up the album.
I agree. Fantastic way to open up the album. You know, the whole album, every single track is about a different part of life.
Right.
And I think the best way they could have possibly opened up the album is a track just about breathing and living your life. And thematically, you know, the tracks following it kind of build off of that.
Yeah.
Such as the next track, On the Run.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Breathe does a great job setting it thematically, but what On the Run does is it takes kind of also another more experimental direction to start, similar to Speak to Me. It's you know, very synth heavy. They've got this one repeating like loop, and then it seems to describe running through an airport and then a plane crash. But it's a very experimental piece. I like it overall, though. I would say it's still worth listening to. I never skip it whenever I listen to the album. What about you?
Yeah, I also enjoy it. I think it's a great way to follow up the first track. My only qualm with it, it was definitely innovative for its time as well. My only qualm with it, I feel like it goes on a little bit too long.
I agree. I would agree
which
with
makes
that.
me skip it sometimes. But I think it's a good follow-up to Breathe, and shows the chaos of life even when you just try to breathe in the air and live. And then that's followed up by Time.
Yeah, Time I think is one of Pink Floyd's greatest songs, period. You know, you've got the lyrics, which are, you know, always going to be timeless. They're about aging, growing older, life moving past you, whatever. So I think thematically they're very good. And then going into the guitar solo, it just is some of David Gilmour's best work, I would say. It's one of my favorite songs off the album.
Yeah, the rototoms in the beginning, Nick Mason does some really good stuff on that song. Lyrics are just, you know, obviously never get old, all about aging and the fear of losing time, and you're so focused on keeping up with time that you end up losing it in the process.
Absolutely, and great gig, also beautiful. And then moving on, Money is, you know, another great song, great guitar solos, but what really stands out is the end of the album to me. Us and Them, Any Color You Like, and then Brain Damage and Eclipse. I think overall it's a great 10 out of 10 album. Absolutely give it a listen.
I agree. It's one of the best prog rock albums out there. Pretty accessible. I'd say everyone should give it a listen at least once. Has some great messages about life. It'll really make you reflect.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Brooklyn.
I'm Maddie.
And this is Burning Grudges with Brooklyn.
And Maddie.
Yeah. So we are going to just read some Yik Yaks, talk about some of the Yik Yak drama on campus, I guess. This one says, this is what I imagine when I see the frats fighting on Yik Yak. I don't know. I think it, you know, frats could be,
I wouldn't be surprised.
you wouldn't be surprised. And there's no way that there's no way that some of that tension we see you and we support.
We do. Next.
Next. So this is our featured guest star, Moo.
Moo.
You might know her from Yik Yak.
Moo Mondays.
Yes, Moo Moo Mondays. This is the
Wait, this is like a
she-
perfect like cameo then.
Yeah.
It's her segment.
Yeah. Look at her.
I've eaten everything in Ack and I'm sick of all of it. I'm gonna start a taco truck and drop out of college over it. Yeah. I think you should. Or
function of
you
taco
could
truck.
do it while you're in college. Give us all free tacos. And then start a job.
Yes, actually, I support this 100%. Don't drop out. Just start it now.
People
Also,
would eat that up.
Yes,
Literally.
me. Clearly. Also, big shout out to another taco truck that is on 2nd in Utica. I forget the name. They're still very good, and the people are very nice. The next one says, to the subway dude, whatever roids you're on causing you to choke the out of my sandwich, please stop them. Is it smushed or like like, is
You can see the handprint.
right? Like,
If you go in person next time, then you can watch what they're doing. I mean, I'm assuming he's ordering it because he wouldn't say this if he like literally physically saw his sandwich get choked out. No hate.
No hate, no
I
hate.
used
I
to
love
work-
Subway. Subway is ball.
It is bus. I love Subway.
Subway bus. Subway is bus, not Subway bus. Yeah,
That's it for this one.
That's it for this one. I love looking at everything that you guys have to say. Yeah, so I mean, if you want to be featured, post some funny
Please.
yicks so we can. Yeah, this was Burning Bridges with Brooklyn.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, and welcome back to another senior interview with Roma Carter. So, Roma, tell us, you've done so much for TUTV, so maybe tell us a bit about how you got started.
Absolutely, Andres. I joined TUTV my sophomore year because of John O'Rice. I bet some people know that name, some people don't, at the activities fair. And I started off as an anchor, and I enjoyed it, but it took a while for me to realize that wasn't really my calling as much. And so then I, moseyed on over to the audio booth, and I loved it there. I started audio engineering my junior year, and then I studied abroad my second semester of junior year, but my first semester was spent in the booth, and I had an amazing time, all around. And then the other day I used the switcher for the first time, and I loved it. If you've ever done the switcher here, it's like a lot of fun. So it was cool trying new things, but yeah, all around cool positions you can do here.
That sounds like a very versatile skill set here, and you've also done some packages. Can you tell us a bit about the final package that aired earlier?
Yeah, so my public art package has been just very rewarding to complete because this past semester I've worked on an independent project with Professor Peters on what is the role of the public and public space and public art and how that is, a right to the people to, put their imprint on impact. So it's been a that project was kind of just like a bigger accumulation of an independent project I've been working on all semester. And so to see it, visualized and then go out and put my own impact on, the streets of Tulsa was rewarding. But one of the best packages I put together was my short film last semester that I really enjoyed piecing. The actors were amazing. It was just such an amazing package that I never thought I would complete here at TU. But given, the creativity and the encouragement from everybody that this is a space where you can create whatever you want to, it was really encouraging. And yeah, so a couple good packages. The past two that I've created for the finals these past 2 semesters has definitely been most impactful for me.
Do you have any plans for graduation, anything related to TUTV?
Well, other than this, which I've been waiting for this interview since 3 years now. But yeah, post-grad, I'm going to be working for Tulsa Service Year, which is an organization that basically, I'm working for a nonprofit called Words of the People that basically revitalizes indigenous languages through workshops and keeps cultural, tendencies, creativity workshops alive via, connecting with people part of the indigenous community. So I'm going to be the digital storyteller in that position. So taking TUTV skills, and then I also want to give a shout out to Professor Q, who, because of TUTV, I started working for his podcast as a correspondent, Focus Black Oklahoma, So TUTV has brought a plethora of benefits my direction, and I'm so grateful for my time here.
Awesome. And so that's all the time we have for today. Back to the desk, but first, a little pizza review. For our final restaurant review, we actually decided to review multiple places in the form of a Tulsa pizza ranking. We got a pizza from 6 different places and brought them all together to compare and find out which pizza is the best pizza in Tulsa. Now, I will be honest, there were some issues with fairness because not everyone got the memo that they were all supposed to be cheese pizzas. So take this ranking with a grain of salt and try them out for yourself. We started with an anchovy pizza from Hideaway.
It's a good pizza, ma'am.
It's
pretty good.
Pretty good? Awesome.
Pretty good.
an Irish accent.
Okay, wait, fish on pizza?
That tastes like a fish on a pizza.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome, dude.
It's
I'm a fan.
It's something, I don't...
Dude,
It's
come on, man.
something.
It's good.
Next was a margarita pizza from Lo-Fi. We then had a very large cheese pizza from Empire Slice.
Some good stuff. It's a lot greasier than the lo-fi. The lo-fi is more like olive oil. This is like grease. I don't know what it is. Pretty good, pretty classic, nice.
Okay, I'm tasting a lot of cheese right here. Not that much sauce, but you know, I'm a sucker for sauce. So I'd have to go with a Lo-Fi's margarita pizza. It has to be a little higher. And with that also, the anchovy one, that was also pretty solid. I do, you know, like I said, a lot of sauce is good. I'm not really tasting as much here, but the cheese is pretty delectable. I'll have to keep that in mind for the next pizza.
For the sake of comparison, we had some fast food pizzas as well to see how they stacked up to the local places.
And Jaden, with no hesitation, is going for that 4th slice.
I'm cutting it in half.
Starting with a pepperoni pizza from Pizza Hut.
Autumn pizza so far.
This tastes like...
It tastes like school cafeteria pizza. It does.
It tastes like Gusty's.
It
slightly better.
does.
Slightly better than Gusty's.
As well as a cheese pizza from Papa John's.
I'm gonna bring it over.
Yeah, I've never been a huge fan of Papa
Do you want to split this piece or do you want to?
And I think kind of shows just
Are you
not
gonna touch it
very
over?
interesting.
Yes.
It's pretty bland, I'd say.
It's pretty solid. The cheese is a lot more thicker. It definitely outpieces the Hut, but where it goes with everything else, I don't know. I still have to ponder.
It was okay. I don't know much to say about it.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, it was pizza. I mean, I like the butter, but I think that I would. It looks really gross. It kind of is really gross, but like in a good way.
It outpizzas the Hut.
It does out pizza the Hut, I must say. I think I would rank
Yeah, I'm not
this
sticking my
one
pizza in there.
above the last one, but below the first two.
And last but not least, we had a cheese pizza from the classic Andolini's. That's good. That is good. I think that balance as well, cheese and sauce, very nice. The cheese is even better.
Just by the look of it, I can tell a lot of engineering went into this slice. The structural integrity, not being able to fall, no folding required. The question is, how does it taste? All right, again, lacking sauce. The cheese is all right. You can taste the Parmesan sprinkled over, but I don't know how it ranks on the list. I'm not feeling so hot about it.
It was pretty good, man.
Pretty good?
I would say it's about around the middle, but I'd say that this pizza is better than that pizza.
After some divisive deliberation and disagreement, as well as some tiebreakers, we created this order from best to worst. We unanimously picked Lo-Fi as the best place, which was even predicted by one of our taste testers.
$10 pies during happy hour.
So now you know where to go if you want a pizza. Also check out Andolini's and Empire Slice, because I thought they had some great pizza as well. Thank you for tuning in to the spring 2026 season of TUTV Restaurant Review. We'll be back in the fall for some more food recommendations, both in Tulsa and in some special locations across the world. For TUTV, I'm Andres Lynch.
Another great food review by Andreas Lynch and company. My only complaint, no ranch.
No ranch.
How do you have pizza without ranch? I don't know.
That's really sad.
That's a big question for another day, but welcome back to the desk. I'm Bruce Bigler.
And I'm Angelica Ortiz. Our show is winding down, but there's still plenty of campus news to talk about. Let's jump right in.
For avid readers, last week featured 2 opportunities to pick up discount books. On Tuesday, the English Graduate Student Association held a book sale in the Student Union. Boxes and carts were stacked with different genres and subjects, including philosophy, anthology collections, and religious readings. Prices range primarily from $3 to $7, with well-used textbooks being among the cheapest options. Later on Friday, McFarland Library held their annual spring book sale to resell former library materials and unused donations. Due to poor weather, the event was held inside the lobby between Starbucks and the circulation desk. Prices went as low as 25 cents with additional deals for bulk purchases. Books were organized by subject on different carts, but mostly included older literature and history materials.
The Collins College of Business is inviting students to join their Collins College Day Carnival on April 30th from 5 to 7:30 at the Dietler Commons. There will be free snacks and games. Plus, the first 200 students will receive a free exclusive stuffed animal and food truck tickets. On May 4th, Kane's Career will host Pause and Relax from 12 to 1 p.m. in the Hurricane Plaza. Students can spend some time with our 4-legged friends, enjoy some refreshments, and participate in an exclusive giveaway.
Tonight, our UTulsa Jazz Combos will be performing in Lorton Performance Center from 7:30 to 9 p.m. It will take place in the Grand Graves Hall on the first floor. Then, this Wednesday, from 7:30 to 8:30, our percussion ensemble will host an all-percussion concert. This features the world premiere of a new composition by local composer Adam Bruce and the first ever performance of the UTulsa Steel Band, a percussion group that plays on steel pans. The concert is free for everyone and will be held in Meinig Recital Hall.
This Friday is May 1st, meaning that 101 Archer will host their monthly First Friday Art Crawl. The South Gallery will be debuting Unexpected Company, featuring Andrea Couch's re-owned painting of the same name and works by Cherokee Nation artist Richard D. York. The North Gallery will be presenting Finding Oklahoma, a photography exhibit by Leonid Furmansky.
So far, a great show, great packages. Angelica, this has been your first semester at TUTV. What stood out to you? What have been the highlights, your favorite package?
The highlights, I really like how everyone is really cooperative with each other. They all have to really communicate really well in the studio to get everything right. I think it's a really good community in TUTV, and I really enjoy that. My favorite package that I made personally might have been the TU Thrift one, because I just had a bit more freedom to be more creative with that one, and I found that really, really fun.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for your work this semester, Angelica.
Thank you.
Thank you all for tuning in to TUTV this semester. Thank you to our regular viewers, Audrey Barta. We see you. We're grateful for you, as well as all the other regular fans. But now, over to the hosts.
Absolutely. Thanks to everyone. It's been a great semester.
It has been a wonderful semester, and that is in large part due to Dr. Q, who last semester he came in, he brought TUTV back from what was essentially the brink of death. I mean, last spring we had about 5 or 6 people running around just barely managing to get out a show each week.
It was rough.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
This year, I mean, we've had so much more participation, we've had so many more packages, the class was amazing. So really all credit, well, not all credit, because the students, everyone who's worked on TUTV has been incredible, but we would not be here without Dr. Q, so just huge shout out to him, even though his reviews were not very good. I promise he's a good professor.
Yeah.
So what did we learn tonight? We learned that everyone out pizzas the Hut.
Everyone out pizzas the Hut. We learned that Dark Side of the Moon is the best album ever made.
I don't know about that.
I know about that.
But I want to say just a little bit more about behind the scenes TUTV. I got to become the show producer this semester. That's why I haven't been on camera. It's been incredibly rewarding and incredibly stressful to put this show together with Michael Searles, the wonderful director, each week. We've worked very closely this semester just trying to bring the best show we can, and I think we've done just a really incredible job. And obviously that credit does not go to us, it goes to the people making packages, going on camera, doing the weather, giving us music minutes.
Absolutely.
This has been by far the best semester we've had in a very long time, and we are going to keep it going next year. Anderson, any closing thoughts?
Don't give me too much credit. I just sit here and read scripts, you know. But no, absolutely, it's been a great semester. I'm happy to keep it going. I'm gonna get more burger reviews next semester. All around Tulsa, you know. Brownies is only the beginning, but I'm looking forward to it. TUTV's got a bright future.
It does. All right. Well, with that said, this is the end of the show.
That's it.
It's been a beautiful 90+ minutes. I don't really know how long it's been. We went way over. We were shooting for 90. But everybody, get in here.
Come on now.
Come on. As is tradition, everyone will join us in the camera. We'll wave goodbye to a wonderful year of TUTV. Goodbye, Roma. Goodbye, Betty. It's been real.
Oh, it's this one now.
We just keep waving. Michael's not down here yet, so don't leave yet. We've still got a whole heck of a lot more waving to do. There he is. Come on, Michael. Come on. Michael, come up front. Come up front. Michael, come up front. Right here, right here. Have a seat. Have a seat. Our wonderful director, Michael.
I couldn't do it without all of you. You're still waving.
We're still waving. Don't stop waving. The people at home are still watching. Benton, come closer. You're not in the frame.
The never-ending wave.
Oh, the Supreme Architect.
Supreme Architect.
Chief stewards. Writers.
Oh, for those the only position that you got for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at all those names. That's everybody who's contributed. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Thank you, everyone.
Look at how many people have helped out this semester. And you. Thank you.
Thank you to the viewer.
We hit him with the old PBS.
Oh, I didn't even see that.